Bro, let me tell you about my fucked up life. All right. So here's the weird phenomenon I experienced. When I leave my house and shit, you know what I'm saying? And don't be that many people outside. But from the minute that I leave my house, where there's like nobody outside, like in this neighborhood, I've been here for about 3 years. Okay. Um, Generally, it is a very quiet place. It's not that many people out in this neighborhood. To now, it's like when I started walking, I was like, watch, I'm going to start walking, and then everybody in this area is going to start walking. And that's what happened. And when at first, nobody was going on walks, nobody was outside, none of that shit. Now, it's like the outside, I'll check outside first, then I'll come outside, everything will be clear, right? Then all of a sudden, all these dead people start coming out. And I know they're dead because they just be walking around like automatons. Most of the time when they walk their dogs be walking them, pulling them all across to and fro. And they have no conscious effort to steer the dog or anything else like that. In most cases, like 99%. They have on these thick sunglasses that would suggest that they're blind. I can tell that they can't see. They could be standing right next to something and not be able to see it, this, that, and the other. Oftentimes people, the reason why they use their phones, they use it for technology in order to be able to see. So that might be why they're placing the cell phone on you, is because they're in some type of deep state dungeon. And there's different ones, but if they're in one of the work ones, not the one that's that's not Kylo. I'm not talking about Kylo like the factory that's above this place. I'm talking about there's some dungeons on different so-called realms that we would signify as planet, and people stay in like an iron room, and they utilize technology to hive together. And this is where you get those pronouns, which are plural, when individuals indicate to themselves as they. You have a they pronoun, which pretty much indicates that you have more than one spirit inside of your body. You're basically, you're not even suggesting. You're just, this is the blindness of people. They're outright telling you that there is legion in their body. There was a man that was possessed with the spirit of legion. And now we've covered this up with medicine and mental illness, that individuals are on some type of spectrum. And if they're on a spectrum, considering spectrum is an internet service that people share, all right? If such the same with spirits, and spirits are electromagnetic frequencies, the individuals are their broadband devices or their Wi-Fi devices, or the principality of the air would be the same thing that they would want to complete the grid around the United States, so that electromagnetic spirits or spirits that have passed on to other places are able to interact with your reality, and they can separate individuals into realms. So during the time of COVID, I believe they divided people into different containers that were actual people that were living, and they control the circumstances that is within your container. That's what I believe, and that is not God. Okay. That would be something pertaining to this place. Can't really see this camera here. Now my camera that I'm shooting on, even though it's outside, man, this camera is dark. Normally I can brighten the screen. I can't do that here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different technological inconsistencies with my devices from time to time. The amount of battery power that is taken from my phone, you'll notice all sorts of electric disturbances. Things will start to go around your house, such as your thermostat, your AC cooling. You won't be able to control your earbuds for much of shit. They'll start going awry or going bad. And all these are due to spirits, which are bugging your electronic devices and things of this nature, all right, which is connected to your CIA agency, because who's going to work that seriously in this world when they actually have a life? It'll be entities that are surrogates, okay, that live in automaton bodies from deep state, that their whole job is and focus is on you. And if you live in a dungeon, or you're stuck in an underground base or a workroom, and you have a vessel on earth and you're allowed work release, right? Then their full job and function is going to be against you. You get a job here in America, the United States, or whatever. Chances are, in many cases, those jobs and services are not there for the people, but they're for the people in a certain type of way of control. You see what I'm saying? So that gets into your police, your FBI, your government agency, things of this nature, dependent. And it's not about you being a part of a group in this world. It's about your spiritual family. So if you're a police officer or you're a good cop and there's a bad cop, you're going to be in different families. So you got infiltration on every single level as well. All right. And this is society. I believe that society was separated and spread out. And the beast is enforcing this LGBT agenda. I noticed that all the things that if God is love, and where you started with knowing love, and then you experience bad things, you attribute those bad things to God. You shouldn't do that. What it is, the only reason you know those bad things is from the good things that you had. So therefore, it is God and the illumination of recognizing these things that happen to you as knowing that that is the devil. All right. And the ways of men and the daughters of men, the problem with them in Genesis 6 and why God was crying out to his people not to elope with these daughters of men, because they have gods in deep state places, and you only dealing with a surrogate on earth. And if they don't, God is written that God is does not love everybody. It's written that God loves those who loves him. And it's also written that God is God of the living. So when these people particularly don't deal with the Most High God, but they have an open mind towards all other gods, then guess what? They're just letting you know in a way, hey man, I'm dead. I live in a deep state government thing. Everything about me is under mind control, and I'm just a robot living in this body. And it's different for me as a living vessel to actually experience things and get in a physical altercation versus individuals that's getting into altercations in a surrogate that is really cowards, that really don't know the extensive pain the same way I understand it. All right. But I'm a black man in America. So it's just like the issue with that is after you do all these things to me, I don't give a fuck if you're twice my size or not. You know, it's the circumstances is the same for me. Nobody's going to have my back, especially the black woman. You know what I'm saying? I will step on you. And these niggas and surrogates ain't even built like that. But they boast a large thing and a loud thing, and they're not really like that. And you can see in their behaviors and actions because they do cowardly ass shit. If they were really built like that, they would not be about, you know what I'm saying? They are not about having a conversation. They are not about the truth. They are not about anything like that because they're so far removed from it that their only work or action is to destroy you. Right, and they're forced in this chain if they want to have work release or privileges on the mainland in the realm of Earth. So this is where your container that you exist inside of is like the Truman Show, and what they do is they turn you into a commodity. Like they won't allow you to work or do anything, but they'll charge you. They'll still try to charge you for college and all these other things, or rent or property. And the fact of the matter is, if I'm not allowed to work as a black man in the United States in a woke society, then I could do anything I want. I could still kill, destroy, because how can you put me in court? You validate the behavior of a purge. We validate a treason. And this is deep state versus God. You understand? Your president isn't really for you. That nigga's a faggot and a lame. And I told you that shit to begin with. Donald Trump did some shit in the spirit world to me a while back. And that's why he got fucked up like that. I didn't have any connection to a sniper. But I will tell him, tread lightly, nigga. And you know what? When you say things like this, the Secret Service come out to your house. I bet not see one of you niggas. I will break you all. You understand? You put a nigga in office that got fucking 34 felonies and say you don't like the black man, you're full of shit. There's only one thing dirtier than the black man. The white man knows this himself. All right? They know you're the first fruits. They know you're the chosen. They know they can't fuck with you. And they know if they can't indoctrinate you to enroll you and put government in the same faculty as the Most High God, that you embrace them from deep state who are trying to destroy you and use your fucking vessel as a banshee. You know what I'm saying? Then they have to oust you from society. And once they oust you from society, you know what I'm saying? Certain entities in this realm where you exist are androgyne. And what they do is they try to cause you to thirst or to hunger. So when they come over, they try to put food in front of you. They try to show food, or they try to entice your appetites, the appetites that they know of, out of their insatiability. And what happens when you have the spirit of God is like, the minute they start showing me food, I get less and less hungry. Every time. Like the whole, like I get stronger. That's how much hate and disdain God has for you. All right. You know, when you embrace what you have done, and by the time you will know of God, okay, you will wish you had the death that martyrs had. You will wish that, and you will wish it will end. But my love is forever, beloved. I will never let you go. When you're on this diet and they don't allow you to work or anything else like that, then what happens is that calls you to eat on a budget. You are a slave to somebody else's dime. And they try to extort you for your body. No different than Goliath tried to do to David and the rest of Israel. Their affections are weaponized. And everything around you in your mainland container or realm is the Truman Show. Even though it is reality, there is an essence to it. It's not that you're in a container in such that is confined of a physical structure, but you're in a container that is basically dimensional, extra dimensional. The same individuals that's around you have been around you your entire life. Okay? I see my my coach everywhere. They clone the shit out of him. But I see my coach everywhere from personal training. There's a guy walking up the street right now, which has the same genetics as my coach. Looks exactly like him. Same shit. Okay? Retired police, look like a police guy. Okay? But this is what they do. And when you're on somebody else's dime, what do you start to eat? Also pertaining to expiration dates and things of this nature. Predominantly carbohydrates. And when you eat carbohydrates and sweets because they're cheaper at the grocery store, what does this cause you to do? It causes you to bloat along with the BPA and the plastics and everything they did to try to get the white girl to catch up to minority women. And that they were like that due to the curses, okay, of how they treated the people, and they found enjoyment in it. And the reason why they found enjoyment in it is because these individuals do not have the spirit of God. They are the trash filter of all of the things that we get rid of. It's the truth. Unless they are delivered and saved by God, there are few and far in between that break the mold of that. But they're a waste race. Their pride and hubris says they're a master one. And then they came out with these secret societies. And all of them are pointed against the children of God, and everybody hates the black man. It's because my dick is bigger. I'm smarter. I'm more handsome than your most handsomest man. I'm prettier than your finest bitch. That's just the truth. And you can't deal with God because the truth burns you. And all you want to be is superficial, and that which we take for granted and don't recognize because we're real. When you get that carbohydrate diet, brothers and sisters, and it makes you bloat, because this is what they try to do with white girl, these cheap things. It makes you bloat in your ass, you know, it makes you bloat and gives you a soft body because you're dealing with strictly poison. And what do they want you to do? They want this to affect your testosterone and your estrogen and estrogen levels and all of this shit, so that it tricks the body and biohacks it into being more voluptuous. And this, while it was originally aimed for white women, this was specifically and tactically aimed towards black men, as all other races and species are inherently bi or androgyne. The black man is specifically not. We were specifically created to reproduce. We are the master race now, and we've always been the master race. You can ask any god that you worship. I don't have enmity with people I look down upon, because I don't look down upon people except you niggas. I have enmity with you because you have enmity with me, whom you look down upon. Everything you do is backwards. I know you take it in the ass. I got better things to do than pillow bite. I'm not going to come up in Nazi America where you got it filleted out to the point where unless a minority is gay, then you're mortified or terrified of them because you're so nefarious and full of shit. And then you try to make it as into a hate situation. And niggas haven't been the wiser or smart enough to took in the bread. But I don't have the bread. I didn't deal with the knowledges. You see what I'm saying? I'm smart enough to know that not every nigga is a real nigga. Some niggas is draconian, some are mantis, some is other shit. And not all of them are built the same. All right? They share a fucking brain, so no matter how smart they are, they're not. Only those who are in Christ. It's a game until niggas take this shit seriously. These niggas took this shit seriously, and now they on the spectrum. Make me think of Tropic Thunder and shit. You didn't go full, never mind. Why would I insult a group that the DSM has voted on? Education is so democratic, pronouns change and I don't get refunded for mine? There is nothing they could do to me. Donald Trump could never step to me, nor the Secret Service, nor the military, or any of these fucking armies. The earth exists in a pyramid inside the living room of the Most High's house. You know, all the military affairs in here is nothing but hubris in comparison to where I come from. You sit in a living room. Literally. Ask any god if I'm lying that you worship. Which are men, because there's only one real God, and the other gods are men. And that's why God didn't want individuals to deal with the daughters of men, because they're going to be stupid. They're fucking stupid. Some of these girls are trapped to do this ASMR shit, but some of them are fucking stupid. That means they're dead inside. They just look a certain type of way. That's the only thing that's there is a creature that is fallen, twice fallen, because they have less etiquette than a beast of the field, but the aptitude to be greater. And in this thing, they have all sorts of knowledge, but what type of knowledge do they have? And all of that knowledge is based on survival. And their survival is based upon human beings that have God's spirit, because if you're not the source of a living spirit, then you must reap or take. And where do they take it from? And why are the saints worn out? They're succubus and incubus. They know themselves, so they can't be right. They have to act intolerable because they know they are unacceptable on every level. That's what it is. They can see everything except for God. What do you think they see if they see a lie? The only thing they know is God. The only thing they know is who they target. Their entire life revolves around the day star, the sun. And to us, they are pests. They worship the Buddha, but they do none of his practices. They say they're for diversity, but they're not. They speak of peace and they bring nothing but war. When they bring something or come in your presence, they always take. Black people always fit the description of white people. Why? Are we the martyr of white people's crimes? Is that what white people know? And that in our oppression, that which we do for them, they treat us this way? How will they recover or come back into their vessel? Yet they go to church. So the whole goal of this thing is to try to take David, the black man, and try to change his biology in order so that they could feel accepted, or get you to fall enough that they could be accepted, because they know that they are decrepit. That's them and the gods that they fucking worship. Because the only gods that there are mortal gods that men have came up based on their imperfect knowledge or understanding of the same Most High God, and chose to attribute it to the wrong place. Now, I don't know if they choose to be in error or if they are ignorant, but there is only one God. And these other practices are the practices of men or gods that former heritages have created. The angels I speak of, they don't know. And they probably worship these angels and don't do it right, thinking that these angels are God. And I am left to see nothing but the human part. Too many issues for someone to ever come and try to accuse me of anything. They need to push these medications. What does that mean? They can't solve every crime. They need you to be on the spectrum. They need you to be mentally disabled. They need to drive you into being crazy or saying something else like that. And he eats his children, so those in the works are also more fucked up than you are. But they're stuck in these chains. At some point, you got to put your feet down, stop, and speak the fuck up. My life is not something that can be taken. But if it was, how can I not be blessed? I'd rather die than spend 5 minutes with you. And then you got niggas that come around thinking that they want an altercation. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I ain't sweating survival. That's the difference between me, these niggas out here targeting me and me. I ain't sweating survival. You know what I'm saying? All I need to do is look at your actions and how you arrived to me to know you don't know any better. This is the type of world that we live in. It's daft in every single way. Everything about it is daft because the people in it is daft. And they're not looking to be any better. It's World Walmart, which correlates with Nazis. Which in such agenda is the LGBT agenda in order to control and castrate society and control the births of society out of preservation, allegedly, of the earth. That links back to these Georgia Guidestones and all these secret mystery schools, and all this knowledge is based upon imperfection. All of these knowledges are based upon avoiding a catastrophe that God taught us how to avoid if you just look in the scripture and its very basic and simple things, and you don't have to worship God in order to follow them. Can you treat others the way you want to be treated? Can you be responsible and accountable? Can you try to love your enemies by sharing the truth with them? Well, if you can't do any of these things, this is why this world looks this way. Peace and blessings be with you all. And be careful of your diet, because if you're living in this thing, you want to control your carbs. And me being off of eating nothing but salads and what do I have? I have like no more than 4 tortillas a day, and I might have some top ramen, and I have eggs. But my type of diet, I wouldn't be gaining weight even though I stopped exercising, because they wouldn't allow me to exercise because I couldn't get niggas to leave me alone. It was, my targeting was that bad. They kicked me out because I couldn't control everybody else. Purple Fit, your Democratic gym, right? So niggas that don't even have to pay, they just walk in, and they just start fucking with you. People are on all type of crack habits, coming off a hard bender, whatever the fuck. They come over and they all just want to fuck with me because they're attracted to the spirit of light. They're black holes or empty portals. They're dead cells. There's no truth in them. There's no spirit in them. You know, and that's why I said it don't matter how attractive you are. A lot of these attractive chicks, dude, they have nothing inside of them, man. At all. They're defiled. Like there's no person, that there's nothing, just memories and things of this nature. Very zombesque and ghostly. You know what I'm saying? Then they put makeup on and it only makes me think, you left the casket. Why'd you leave the casket? They do all the same things the dead do. All right. So anyhow, the other prognosis, if you're a Christian man, what they try to do is rail you against perfection, as in the perfection of Christ. But how does imperfect knowledge know what's perfect if it doesn't do it itself? I then point fingers to accusate, and it can only point out the things that it knows. And how would it know that them things unless it was not them themselves or something that they experience? But then when it comes to a black man, they happen to see all these things in you. It's a contradiction. For as much hate as they give, they are obsessed. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.